even the even the recorded class would not even go well. Okay, so we are going to start right now. Okay, so how are we all how are we all doing generally? Generally. How are you all doing generally? So I think so far so good. I think we've been able to do quite a lot of things on Scrum, sorry, on Jira generally. We've been able to do a lot of things on Jira, and I think, and I believe at this stage, many of us should have, been familiar with so many things regarding the tool. And let me open the Kanban tool. And we've been able to do, perform several practicals on the account. Been able to perform several practicals on the Kanban framework. Let me open the Kanban framework. These are all recent stuff. I don't even know which section I'm in initially. All I know is I'm somewhere. Okay, we've been able to sort out quite some things on the Kanban framework. So the part where we haven't touched is the Scrum section. And also, I think I remember mentioning in one of the sessions that we should try and check out some other project sections. That is when you attempt to create a project, we have different templates. So I don't know if any one of us tried it. If you try it, you can just drop me a notice in the chat section. So let me know if you did. And then I think I was able to share, we were able to share links to some Jira certifications. So I think, I sent a link about Jira certification, and then there were some other things. You see, those certifications are very, very important and necessary. They're important to help boost your chances of getting a job, even if you still do not have, very much of an experience of what it is. So we've been able to work together, creating tasks, assigning tasks, and then communicating. I'm trying to locate which of the account that I used the last time so that I can use the same, the same platform for the sake of those inmates. Okay, so today is supposed to be for Scrum. In fact, we're supposed to have a Scrum section last week and this week. But because we couldn't meet up last week, we would have to add one more week. And let me check the calendar. Yeah, next week is going to be the next Sunday is going to be 3rd. So that is going to be a new month, which is supposed to be for another session. But let's see how it goes. It depends on how far we can quickly run through the structure here. So if I'm going to move away from the Kanban board to create another project for the Scrum, it's just right here. If you're on the dashboard, even if you are not on the dashboard, wherever you are, you can always try to locate your a project section and then click on create project. When you click on create project, you get this. And since software development is what we're using as an example, and we've dealt with this, we are going for the Scrum section, and you can see Scrum has its own issue types: the epic, the story, the bug, the task, the subtask, and then of course they have the same workflow. You can see it right here: to do, in progress, and done. So I'm going to click on use templates. So I can either pick any of this. I prefer to pick the team managed section. Now I'm going to bring in someone today. She was my boss at the company on the island. That was around 2018, 2019. Yeah, she was a very good boss, and at that point in time, she was into sorry, when she comes, I'll start talking. Yeah, she would join us by 6:20. She's a Scrum Master certified. She's a product manager, and she's currently deviating into cybersecurity now. So I wanted her to come and talk to us about, just motivate us about what it's like to be in a tech company, and then we can as well ask our questions. Okay. So I wanted to quickly run through Scrum. So I'm trying to create a template, and then next. So just the same procedure as which when you try to pick a template for the Kanban, it's the same procedure. Now, when you have your dashboard like this, you literally cannot do anything except you have to go to the backlog, and then you have to plan and then start a sprint, just like the way they have them here. Now, this is where it would now bring us to a little bit of communications and talking about Scrum. And when you talk about Scrum, the first thing that comes to your mind is, how exactly do you solve problems? Because the way you solve problems is it depends on your method at which you use towards solving problems. You see, using all these tools is just to make the workflow very easy. But when you hear Scrum, this is just a template to help you use that methodology to solve a problem. Imagine you're trying to write a book, or you're trying to jot down some things, just like the way I'm talking now. You're trying to jot down something. You need to have a book, you need to have a diary, and then something like that. Or let me say, like, if you have an event planner template or something, or maybe you want to, okay, let's use a social media calendar. Let's say you want to be posting on social media regularly from Mondays to Sunday, and then you need to structure a plan. The best way to do it is you need to get a template. You could actually build everything from ground up. Just build everything the way you can actually think about it. But let's say someone now provided a template for you that's been structured to look like an actual calendar. And then all you just have to do is start inserting. And they would even do it to the extent that they could give you options of things that you could actually post on. So you see, that template actually just made your workload easy. And there are different platforms now that would actually do the job of a template. So you see, that's that interaction between that template and then you trying to jot down things. You see, that interaction is what the Jira does to help us with Scrum. So Scrum is not like a software. It's not a tool. It's a methodology. It's a technique towards how you solve a problem. So Scrum is just basically solving problems. So like I said, when you think about Scrum, or when you hear the word Scrum, what you should think about in your mind, what should be in your mind is, how do I solve problems? If you look at this part where we have backlogs, Scrum board. If you look at where we have the backlog here, The backlog is just those problems that you just couldn't take care of.
Now.
When you're trying to solve a particular thing, you always have to, think through few things. You have to do deep thinking, and you have to like start thinking about putting everything in place. So the purpose of Scrum is to help us simplify that problem. So it's not actually going to, it's not like a magic, like an AI that you just tell, I have a problem, I'm trying to deal with this, how do I do it? And then it just provide. No, it's just like a methodology. Now, why do tech companies use it? Now, look at Jira, and then let's not even go to Jira. Look at Atlassian. Atlassian is a very robust tool. Now, think about what it takes to actually build a platform like Atlassian. If you remember when we're trying to access Jira, look at the stress that we had to go through just because we want to try and use the tool. It's a very, very long process. So whoever is in charge of doing whoever is in charge of the workflow, I don't know why they had to do it in that manner. It's their own case. But look at the Atlassian itself. Look at the way the platform is. They have different applications on just one platform. And they want to be able to control everything. If you look at this part, look at Jira software, Jira work management, Confluence, Trello, and they have their administration. And aside that, the Jira itself as it is, you could easily still connect several things into that application. Now, it's a very robust thing. How do people work around building it? Now, the question you should ask yourself is, how do people solve problems? They solve problems by planning. Remember then, the way all those motivational speakers used to talk to us about making plans, that is literally what the whole methodology is all about. Just trying to make a plan. I'm trying to solve a problem, I need to plan it. Now, you can't use a Scrum for something that you are already familiar with. You only use Scrum, you only consider Scrum when you find yourself in a very challenging situation concerning a task. So it may not be one task, it may even be something. Let me say you're trying to register a company now, as simple as that can be. If it's your expertise, that kind of process can be very easy for you. It's your expertise, it's something that you do every day. You know how to handle it. But the fact that for someone who hasn't actually done it before, and then you want to try it for the first time, and they used to say, whatever you are trying to do for the first time becomes a challenge to you. Am I right? It becomes a challenge, right? Because you can't do it, because you don't know how to do it. But you want to do it, right? Because if you don't do it, you won't learn how to do it. So that's literally why you have to do it. That's why you have to go through all the planning and everything. And when you talk about planning, the first thing that comes to your mind is, I need to create a to-do list. I need to bring a to-do list. I need to start putting down some things. I need to start planning. This is how I'm going to enter. This is how I'm going to do this, this is how I'm going to do that. You have to like consider everything. Someone is asking a question, what's the difference between backlog in Kanban and in Scrum? Yeah, backlog in Kanban, if you look at the Kanban template, we don't have much setup for backlog like the way we have it on the Scrum board. It's completely different. So Kanban is more of a progress tracking, while the Scrum board is quite different, because what Kanban is doing is, how many of us are here? We're 26. We want to solve a problem. We have to come together. I will be able to list out all the problems, all the solutions, the parts that we need to take care of, and everybody trying to take care of that problem will come together. I assign you to a task, then you get the job done. Then we'll be able, basically progress tracking. That is what the whole Kanban is all about. Now, when we get to some point where we hit a roadblock, it becomes a challenge. We need to actually solve them. Is it those problems that become a backlog? When they become a backlog, we need to solve them. Because we don't know how to solve them, it becomes trouble for us. So that is why we have to come into the Scrum board to execute that. Okay, this is 6:21, and we already have a guest amidst us. She is Mrs. Adedolapo Oguntayo. She was my boss at a company on the island then, and she was a very nice boss, and we are still in business together. And as I am speaking to you right now, she works at a company in the United States. She is a product manager. She's a certified product manager. She's a Scrum Master, and currently she's deviated into cybersecurity. When she told me that, I was wow, like wow, I've been running away from cybersecurity, but then I was so motivated. She's with us today, and I would give her the floor so she can talk to us about Scrum, about what it's like to work in a tech company, and we are free to ask her questions. Then after, we would continue with our session. Okay, Mrs. Adedolapo, the floor is yours.
All right. Hi, everyone. I have a visitor with me, being that today is Sunday, so I have my baby here. Hope you guys don't mind when she interrupts a little bit. Yeah, it's good to be here, and thank you, Solomon. It's always good working with you. Sorry, Mama. It's always good working with you. So Solomon had told me to just talk about, I know he's doing a training on Jira. I'll just give a little background about myself. My name is Adedolapo Oguntayo Williams, and I'm currently a product manager and Scrum Master at a software design company in the United States, like you said. And I'd say that I use Jira. I think I'll just switch off my camera. Mom is talking. Do you want to greet everyone? Oh. All right. So 1 second, please. Babe, please can you come up? Yeah, go to bed. All right. Okay. All right. Like I was saying, I'm currently a product manager and Scrum Master. As a matter of fact, I set up the Scrum framework for the company that I currently work with. So I'll just give, I think Solomon has been doing a great job explaining what Jira does, but I'll just give you like an eye-level overview of Jira. I'll share my screen, and because of intellectual property, proprietary reasons, I may not be going in there because this Jira board that is set up, I didn't have time to set up like a test space for us to work around Jira, but I'll just show you how I use Jira. As a Scrum Master and as a product manager, one of the tools that I use is Jira. I use it as a task management tool and a project management tool for myself, and also a software development tool. Jira is known to be primarily a task management tool that a lot of software companies use for their software development process, especially if they're utilizing the Agile framework. And it's okay if you guys have questions while I talk, you can always call me. I'd be happy to answer. So let me just quickly share what our Jira board looks like. Like I said, I won't be going into details because of course it's my company. I'm not allowed to show all of our intellectual or proprietary information. I think okay. Solomon, you allow me to share my screen.
Okay. I make you an host already.
All right, thank you. Okay, second. All right. Okay, yay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay. Yes, great. All right, so great, beautiful. I see yes, it's all around. Okay, so this is what our Jira board looks like. And of course, like, a second. Great. Okay, so as Solomon was explaining to you that Jira is used for task management. So we're a software design company. I'm a product manager. So my responsibility is to ensure that we plan our task, also ensure to see how the progress of our task is going using Jira. So imagine you are trying to build a software. Let's say, let's look for an example. Let's say you're building a software. I mean, someone just give me any example so that we work with that, so that I explain how we would use Jira as a tool to manage our tasks or to create the software. Let me see in the comment section. Did anyone write anything? What web-based tool exactly? Anything? Okay, I think we're not getting any response. Let's say fintech software. Okay, beautiful. Fintech software. Abiodun, let's just go with no niche MD's example, if you don't mind. A fintech software that allows you, pay for services. Yeah. So now you're building a tool. So give me an example of a feature that a fintech software will have. Payment platform or a payment gateway. Great. So let's just work with that. So let's use that as an example. So myself as a product manager. So I don't know if I should come in as a product manager or come in as a scrum master, because I actually double as both in my company, like I said earlier. What I have to do is, create a project called let's say no niche fintech software. That's the name of the software that we are producing. So that's the project. So you see that we have different projects. So for us, you see this short-point X, we have a lot of projects, but I'll just keep it at that. So let's assume that this project name will be no niche fintech software. And that's how we'll create a project on Jira. That's because we are creating that software. So one of the features we want to build is to a payment gateway where people can just go and perhaps, pay for maybe their light bill, their phone bills through that company, or sorry, through that software. That's what I meant. So now, if you are building a software, you want to do that. Of course, it's the software developers that will code that and write the code to make that exist, right? But how do you ensure that the software developers get the right requirement? And how do you ensure that they are actually doing the right thing? Aside that, how do you also ensure the progress? You want to know where they are at the point of, the development of that feature in that software. So you can use Jira to manage that. So as a Scrum Master, your one is just project management. Me as a product manager, I'm the one responsible to write those requirements, right? So what I do is, okay, I'll come here. So in Jira, there's an element called issue. Can you see? It's always called issue. Issue could either be a story, it could either be an epic, it could either be a bug, it could either be a task. For the sake of this lecture, or because we're just talking about Jira, I won't be going into detailed agile, Scrum methodology or understanding what story or epic or all of those things. Epic is just basically a big story. Or so what I'll just do here is, one second, trying to close, is now. Mind you, the name of the project will be, of course, no niche fintech software. So I'll say, okay, since I want to create an epic, I'll create an epic and call the epic payment gateway. Okay. What's the epic name? Just, all right, maybe payment gateway, right? Then I'll write, okay, what do I want this what's this epic for? Of course, we want the payment gateway should be able to allow phone bill payment, right? And light bill payment, just with maybe Ikeja Electric or MTN, then, but we're not going to go because this is an epic. Story will then carry all of those detailed requirements, right? So when I go there, I will then write extra details. How do we want it? Maybe the color of the button, what it should do. I'm going to write a description, yeah? You understand, but for the sake, I'm not going to write anything. And I'm going to say, okay, who am I assigning this feature to? So in the case where you have like 5 engineers on your team, you can then say, okay, I'm going to assign this to engineer A or engineer B or engineer C. So and the person responsible to develop this epic or develop this payment gateway feature on our app is this engineer. So you can tell by the assignee. And of course, because we're using Scrum, we work with sprints. The frequency of our work is in sprints. It could be bi-weekly, it could be monthly, it could be weekly, depending on your company's way of working or how they are choosing to use the agile methodology. Then we'll also call something dev story point. Dev story point is using the Fenerbahce series. If you understand Scrum, you understand how story point works. Story point works is just allocating numbers, and that numbers is related to time. So sometimes you can't really say that, okay, in 1 hour or 2 hours, I'll develop this feature. Instead of using that approach, what you do is just say, okay, I'm going to assign 2. So 2 means maybe between 1 to 7 hours. That means if I put 2, that means I'll be able to finish this feature between 1 to 7 hours, depending on how your company have calculated, your story point. So that's another detailed explanation. And we have what we call fixed version. So because we are an agile company, we have customized our Jira board such that we also represent something called fixed versions. So we do not build all the software at once and just roll out. We roll out in iterations. Iterations meaning that we look at the first most viable product or most viable feature that if we even roll out, people can use before we start adding all the extra features, so that we can have something to sell, or so that we can have something that the users can be satisfied with, while we roll out other features that are still in business analysis and product management. We call something must have, should have. Must have is you must always, in your first iteration, you must have that feature ready. Should have, in the case of our fintech software, like I'm explaining, would say that our must have should be that at least transaction should be able to go through. Our should have could be that you want the person to get both messages and email notification once transaction has gone through, right? So those could be a should have. I mean, you can, those are just priority. I say a message. Beautiful, yes. Morakinyo, yes, exactly. So you see that on your phone, they're always rolling out updates and exactly. If you're using an iPhone, you see that iPhone is rolling out updates. So they'll give you the software, they then in a week they'll roll out updates, you understand exactly. So you get, so that's something like our fixed version. Yeah, great. Thank you, Morakinyo, for that example. And we also have design reviewer. This is just customized to our company's need. So typically, you're talking about Kanban board. Kanban board, I'm going to describe this because I can include this in my company's board. So let me show you. This is so for us, our development team is designed such that we want to know what are the things on our to-do list, what's in progress. We also have what we call design review. When the developer finishes their development, the design team, because we're a design company, like I said earlier, the design team must review what the developer has done to ensure that it aligns to the design requirement that they have given. Then after that, we'll call something dev review. If you're a developer, you understand what dev review is. Then we'll push some things for testing. This for testing is where we keep it for our quality assurance team to come then pick up from this place. And then when the quality assurance team picks up, they put it in testing. That while they are testing, the software to see that everything is good, everything is according to requirements. Sometimes we have to put some features on hold, maybe because executive team is saying that it's not necessary, or our users, we think that they don't really need it now. And we also push some things to done when they are done. So with Jira, I can tell where all of my developers, for instance, what they are doing, what feature, what story is in to do, is in progress. And for instance, I just come here and I'm going to go back because, like I said, I wouldn't want to be sharing some companies details. This is my board. I think it's fair. It doesn't have so much information. So if I was to come to the board, let's assume I'm a developer and I come here and I see all of this in progress, and I'm like, this item should have been in done. Why is it here? Because I'm using Jira, because I have a visual representation of the task progress. I can as well just go to the developer and say, okay, hey, buddy, what's up with your task? What's going on? And the developer can say, okay, this is what's going on. I am having, like a bottleneck. I can't solve this. All of this information is easy to manage because of, the Jira tool. So most companies use Jira tool for their task management, for their project management, and software development. And in software development, interestingly, as Solomon was explaining, Jira can be integrated to a lot of tools such as Slack. You can integrate it to so many other project management tools. You can integrate it to, it's countless, really. It's countless. You can, yes, Slack. Of course, because it's Atlassian that developed Jira, they also have different products such as Confluence. They have Trello. They have, I don't know everything by heart. You guys just give me 1 minute, please. All right, I'm back. Let me see what's in the message. Trello, yeah, beautiful, Layemi, yes, Trello, Confluence. So the good thing is, if with Jira, you can use it as your software development tool, even as repository. Some people don't use even GitHub; they rather use Jira to store all their code bases and even also push out their code bases. So it's a very robust tool that if you are looking to be a Scrum Master, you're looking to be a product manager, a project manager, you're looking to be a software developer, you should know Jira. And it's not really complicated. In as much as you're not like the Jira administrator, like, of course, for us to use Jira, we have what we call the Jira administrator. I'm a Jira administrator in my company as well, although I am not the one that configured it, but I have admin access because, I'm the Scrum Master. I'm the one that opens up every sprint. So that's why I've been given admin access. Well, a core Jira administrator will be the one to set up, like, for instance, the workflow. And workflow is such that you see, in this project, we have the workflow to be, let me go back to this. 1 second, close this up. I don't know why it's not. Okay, now, so this is the workflow for this one. So we have how many progress bars? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So typically, most companies will only have 3, and just a typical Kanban structure. And that will be, let me show you. I think we have a project. This should have just those 3. Beautiful. So we have to do in progress. Okay, we have done, but pending, release, and done. Some people would configure it to just suit their company's need. So I think I've been able to, walk you through what Jira is. And I heard Solomon speak on, what's it called, on backlog. I'll just quickly touch on that as well. So this board is called an active sprint. You can tell that this is an active, these are all the things that we are working on. So you have a Kanban. So Jira is not just for Kanban. Like I said, Jira provides you a Kanban board that can help you manage your task. You can also do other things such as backlog management. Backlog management, of course, I was using the fintech example. You cannot work on all the products in a week or 2. And a sprint, for us, a sprint, you can see, is between 17 July. That means just 2 weeks, right? You cannot work on a full software fintech product in 2 weeks. So we, like I said, we roll out an iteration. So this first week, these are the things that we are doing. Then the rest of the things that you'd be needing to work on, you need to keep them on the backlog, and you must make sure that they are prioritized. So this is what the backlog is used for. These are the remaining tasks. Like, so now the should have tasks, like things like, okay, email notification or text messages once you pay, would all be in your backlog as different tasks. Then in the next sprint, you push it into your active sprint, if you get what I mean. So how you are wondering, okay, see all this list of items. So I'm going to quickly go back to active sprint, because as I said, I cannot keep this up because of intellectual property. So on the backlog, there's a field called choose sprint. And I choose the sprint to coincide to the sprint I want us to develop that actual item, if you get what I mean. So I don't know if anyone has questions. I think I've been able to summarize everything I do with Jira and what you can also do with Jira. Although there are endless possibilities, this is just from a product management perspective and from a Scrum Master perspective as well. So questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, so I guess there are no questions. So I'll just give you the mic back. Oh, so it depends on the amount of features. So Abiodun Dada is asking, so how long does it take to develop a fintech application? A fintech application, it depends on the amount, number of features that you want on the application itself, how many things you want the fintech app to do. So it's very relative. I can't really say, oh, it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3. It's dependent on what you want the product to do. Any other questions, please? Beautiful. That's a great question. Is it quite Morakion says, is it quite difficult to get an entry-level role as a Scrum Master? What's your advice? It's not difficult, to be honest. Like I say, with anything in life, I use the 1:5 rule, right? So to get a 1:5 means that, okay, once you get all the certifications or the requirement to apply for a job, most people would always try to apply for 1 job, 2 jobs and give up. So it's like a marketing guy. You want to sell a product to someone. If you market your product to 5 people, the rule is that at least 1 person would give you a listening ear. So what it means for the marketing guy, if he wants 2 people to give him a listening ear, how many people should he reach out to? He needs to reach out to 10 people, right? If he wants 20 people, he needs to reach out to, if he wants 4 persons, he needs to reach out to 20. If he wants 20, you need to reach out to 100 people. So if you want to apply for a job, it's the same thing. If you want 1 person to even actually get you to the, what's it called? Interview stage, you need to apply to 5 places to get at least 1. So when people do 1, 2, 3, 4, they'll say, I know they're not calling me back. No. If you want at least 5 interview calls, you need to do about 20. You need to apply to 20 places, if you get what I mean. So answering your question, Morakion, it's not quite difficult. It's just what strategy you use and how patient you can be. And of course, the grace of God. I'm a Christian, so it's a very important factor as to whatever I do in life as well. So get a Scrum Master certification. I think Solomon will talk more about some of the advanced courses that you can take that I also facilitate if you're interested. Maybe you want to become a Scrum Master, you want to transition into product management, cybersecurity, or whatever. We have, advanced courses. These are paid courses that you can take, and you can get your certifications from international bodies, and then you can use that to apply for jobs. So I hope that answers your question, Morakion. The second person here says, are you able to navigate being a Scrum Master and PM on the same project? That's a very beautiful question. Sometimes you have to wear many hats. Because we're a startup, we're not a big company. I manage about 10 engineers, I think. And to be honest, it's not really an easy task, but it's doable. I'd say, just because I have experiences with both, you understand. And of course, I have an amazing team. It's very easy for me to be able to work as both if it's a small company. If you're working on a very massive project, I'm not saying that my company is a small company, but I'm saying that the project I'm working on is not extremely massive, but it's something that is manageable. And that's why I'm able to, manage to work on both. Another question says, please, is it only Jira you use for your job function? Oh, no, I use a lot of tools. I use different tools for different functions. Like I have Asana. Also, I use Asana for task management, note taking. I use Notion. I use now, okay, what tools do I use? I use a lot of tools, actually. I use Miro as well, yes, for document requirement to document requirements. So I used to use mockups. I've used Visio. So a lot of tools, depending on what tasks I'm doing or what function I'm performing. Okay, let's see. How easy will it be to create a fintech product customized to the greater urban areas in the rural populace and greater lower literate probably that will be user friendly. Oh, now this is a very interesting question, I'd say, Abiodun Dada. Now, if you want to customize a fintech product for for rural community or rural community or rural users, I'm assuming that is user friendly, that is straightforward, that is intuitive, you need to understand your users, and you want to know that, okay, maybe your users are users that have education level to like primary school or secondary school. So when you are even writing maybe prompts in the application, you want to know that those prompts are easy to understand, not with so much big grammar. Aside from that, you want to ensure that these people do not need to press so many buttons before they are able to perform any operation on your application. So this is, like I said, it's very, very relative. You need to have a team of people, of course, a product manager to draft out the product roadmap to see what sort of features will be on this application, this fintech application that will suit this particular users. And that brings me to your second question, which says how are issues arranged on the backlog. Issues are arranged based on priority, right? Backlog management is still the same thing as priority management, or how would I put it, priority of features management. So you want to arrange the features or your epics based on priority. What is the first thing you guys want to roll out? Like someone said, like phone updates. Before they decided to roll out the update they rolled out last week, it was in a place in the backlog that they would roll it out, maybe sometime last week, but they had already pushed out other features weeks before that, yeah? So you want to place the features that you think you need the most on top of your backlog so that you roll it based off of that priority. So now, non-niche, okay, on back the areas, I get that non-niche. So non-niche, you also asked that as an aspiring fresh Scrum Master that will be graduating soon, can I get a free online volunteer role? Of course you can. There are a lot of, when you look on LinkedIn, so many job platforms, there are certainly volunteers or intern roles that you can apply for. And like I said, I'm very big on, yes, even though experience is the main, a lot of people think experience is the main criteria to get a job, but I'm also very big on getting certified as criteria to get a job. Certifications typically would prove your expertise or your expertise and your the fact that you know the job, if you get what I mean, especially with Scrum Master, with product management, with a lot of non-technical tech roles. So I think those are the questions I have here. Is there any other question? Are there any other questions? I think no. Okay, so I guess that's it. Okay. So over to you. Okay, Grace raised her hand. Okay. Grace, you can. Okay, so I guess. All right. So we have certified Scrum. Olayemi is saying what certifications do I recommend? We have certified Scrum Master, certified product managers. Those are certifications I will recommend for both product manager and Scrum Masters certification. Okay, so I think there are no other questions. I did the Emmanuel. So like I said, not all people need experience. They just want to see that you're certified as a Scrum Master. I wouldn't say your experience really matters. All right, thank you, everyone. I'll give the microphone back to Solomon.
Okay. I need to. Okay, thank you very much, Ma. I think I still have a lot of people here wanting to ask questions. Let's see. Let me switch my device. Okay, so we are back. I still have a lot of people that want to ask questions here. Okay, what I could do is I don't know if she's still with us. No worries. We'll get the questions answered. I would reach out to her if she's still with us so we can um get to answer, all other questions. So I'm sure we've been able to achieve and at least learn quite some things today. There are a lot of questions. Is there a limit to fintech products I can develop as regard cryptocurrency since it's not fully accepted by the regulatory bodies? No, I don't think there is a limit to whatever platform you want to build. You are totally free with building the platform. You're completely free with building any platform you want to build. So far, you have what it takes to build a platform and everything that you need for your platform to work out. You have everything already. Of course, you're fine. Completely fine. Okay, I'm sure we've been able to achieve quite a lot of things today. So, and like I said, because we didn't have a class last week, so that is why I have to add one more extra class. How many weeks is your Scrum training? Yeah, concerning the Scrum training, I will give us an update on it. So as we have trainings in Scrum, we have in product management, and all the trainings are certified. They're fully certified. I would give us an update on it. So thank God we still have one more classes on Jira, Scrum, and Kanban. So I'll give us more information about it. It's going to be fully practical and very, very easy to understand. And I always make sure that whatever you're going to learn, you would be able to, fully you get a full knowledge of everything without having to. And I'm always being careful and I'm very skeptical, making sure that you learn it very well. And the way I starts in a non-technical way, and then I move into a technical and advanced way. So I'll give us an update concerning the class. There is an advanced class in Scrum, in product management, and several tech courses. And I'll give us updates on it as time goes on. And then please, does experience really matter in getting a job as a Scrum Master? I think she already mentioned something like that. Experience does not really matter. That is why certification helps us, pave the way ahead. And for those of us that joined my Tuesday and Wednesday session on that Ejita, we took some courses on, I think that was earlier this month. We took some courses about portfolio. So the purpose of the portfolio is to help you showcase who you are in that particular skill set, who you are, what you do, and how proficient you are at that particular skill. So it's not an issue at all. And when I started the old Sunday classes, I remember I mentioned to us that you do not need to worry about, do I need to master the skill well before I get it? It's just a knowledge. Once you have a little knowledge of a particular tool, you continue to build up on it. And our Sunday classes, majorly the Sunday classes, is just all about learning how to use tools. Because if you're going to work in a tech company, you're going to be dealing with different tools. And don't worry, we'll learn it all. Okay, so the platform I have, is it the free form? Yeah, the platform you have is is free. The Jira platform that we use to teach is free. The one she used was with how do I explain that? It's a under the company where she works. So they are the one that give full access to every features and functionality. So the company is the one that pays for the premium packages, but the one we use currently that we use to teach is completely free. Yeah, you can access the portfolio session. Just send me a message after the class. They I would I will send you a link to it. I think I have the link. Do you have any other classes? Yeah, we have a lot of classes. We have a lot of classes. So my own session is fully how do I put it? My session is fully teaching tools. There are a lot of tools that come out every month, a lot of tools that come out every day, and I get the opportunity to test every tool. So that is why I take that moment to whatever I learn, I teach it. Because if you now want to like improve on it, maybe like a one-on-one and advanced, and Mrs. Dalakbo has she has an online platform for training and as well as different classes. Someone sent me a message on WhatsApp just now. Give me a few minutes. I would respond after the class. Okay. Are there free classes? We have both free and paid classes, but as far as we come together every Sunday, my Sunday session is totally free. So my Sunday session is totally free. But of course, there would always be an advanced class if one is interested, if you want to, learn more, get certified. But my Monday classes is free, and whatever links, whatever resources I share is going to be access to free platforms. But if you want to consider getting certified at a particular skill, that is when you have to go advanced. But truth is, no need to rush all of these things, all those things. All you just have to do is, it's a matter of you want to transition into tech. Like you need to ask yourself that question: where exactly do I fit in? So you see, tech is not all about of course, most people enjoy the fact that tech pays big money, which is great. So and tech is not all about I want to transition into tech because it pays you. So you just decide to jump into any sector, and then when you start, you get scared. There are different fields in tech, and you can see, for me, when I jumped into tech, I was a programmer and coding. Up to now, I still build softwares. I still write raw code, but I'm the type that I want to be everywhere. I want to learn something new. I love challenges. I want to learn. So I don't want a situation whereby I'll be amidst people and the people will start talking about some tools, some technologies, and then I'll be like, what are you guys talking about? I always want to be on top of it. So it's okay to be everywhere. It's okay to be everywhere. I'm a generalized tech expert. I'm not specialized in anything. That is that sometimes when I want to apply for a contract or a job online, I experience a little challenge. I'll be like, what do I even tell them I'm doing? I experienced it this afternoon. I was like, what do I tell them that I'm actually doing? Because I don't know what I'm doing. Why? Because I just want to be like everywhere, and I don't really enjoy full-time job, right? Because I get bored working on a single product. I like to work on different products. I like challenges. I want to try something new. So that is why I focused only on freelancing and contracts. And it's been over 8 years now, freelancing contracts, which gives me the opportunity to, be everywhere, be able to go everywhere. So if you realize, you've been seeing different skills, different people have been talking about different skills. You hear about cybersecurity today, tomorrow you hear about product owner, the following day you hear about Scrum Master. You don't need to be worried. You don't need to be troubled. It's just a matter of time. All you just have to do is pick a particular skill that you feel you'll be very good at. Yeah, because you are transitioning into this because you want to make the money. So you don't have to go through the stress of trying to learn everything one at a time. Master one particular skill, be proficient in it. When you're really great at it, it's already bringing in the funds. Then you can now, okay, let me try something new. There is a new skill, cybersecurity. Then let me jump on it. At that point in time, you know you already have a full skill. Like I said, when I started, I was a programmer. Up to now, I can still build software. And after some time, I love interface. I love beautiful designs. I love creative designs. And I always want to be part of it. Then I deviated into it. I had to like learn new skills. Then after some time, I was enjoying it. And then UI UX started trending. Immediately, I jumped on it. But I made sure I was already very proficient in that field. So I didn't I actually pick a remote job. I would have to decide, do I want to actually work as a programmer, as a software engineer, or I want to work as a designer, or I want to work as a product manager, or maybe I want to focus on business analysis. I'll have to, focus on that part. But with the fact that I'm a freelancer, it gives me the opportunity to be everywhere. So you can always, you don't need to get scared or get troubled about the skill. And what I used to advise, if you want to move into tech, ask yourself just one question. Do you like codes? Are you ready to solve mathematical problems, complex problems, logic problems? Do you have what it takes to actually do it? Are you very intuitive? Do you love creative designs? Do you like arts? Or even when it comes to managing a business, are you very, very, very excellent at giving the best ideas towards running a business, managing a business, ensuring that the business survives? Or when it comes to actually building something, you're very, very good at, you see, I would advise that you focus on your gift, use your gifts to find a perfect skill for yourself. If you can focus on that, you see, that can serve as your major skill set in tech. You can then go ahead and build up on any other skills. No knowledge is lost. You can always go ahead and build up on any other skill set. Nothing stops you from there. So if you can ask yourself those basic questions, if you know you don't have what it takes to write codes, then don't go near it. At least not yet. There's a new technology in town now, and it's a programming related skill set. And yeah, the whole AI thing, I've been trying to jump on it, but I just didn't have the time. And I just feel, yeah, the only moment I feel I can actually learn this is when I'm not busy, when I'm not so occupied. I enrolled on a course like that on LinkedIn, this LinkedIn course, but I just couldn't have the time for it. Why? Because I have so many things I'm learning. So the best thing is, let's, pick it one step at a time. So what I'm going to do for us is, concerning finding where you fit in, like the question that I just asked, concerning finding where you fit in, I'm going to create a kind of a short Google form for something similar to that. I'll just provide you possible questions. I'm trying to build a platform that would do something like that, but I've been so busy. But I'll try and build something like that. But between today and tomorrow, I'll create a Google form. When I create that Google form, the kind of information you would see there is trying to help you identify where you are good at. So I would be listing out the skills, the skills in tech, the proficiency in tech, but I would not be mentioning software engineering, product management. No. I won't. I'll be talking about questions like, do you like to solve problems? What kind of problems do you actually like to solve? Logical problems. When you see a product, possible questions that could actually help. Is going to be more like a kind of an assessment to help you know where you fit in. So I would try and see how I can quickly run through something like that, because you need to, if you are able to understand where you fit in, it becomes very, very easy for you to know where to start. So it doesn't mean that, yeah, I love cybersecurity, but I don't think I'm ready for it. I just want to do product management. You can do product management and then later come for cybersecurity. Those skills are going to be there forever, and new technology will keep coming in. But just make sure you have one particular skill that you're very, very, very good at. So if you can be able to fit into that, we can It will be very, very easy to start somewhere. So what I would do, another thing aside the form, what I would also do is I will give us the opportunity to, you can get to communicate with me. Maybe that's going to be, it's only on Mondays. So maybe like, I can like schedule a meeting, and I can also I can schedule a meeting. It's going to be more of, like helping you find where you actually fit in. So that is what the whole meeting is going to be all about. So it's not going to be me trying to sell you anything at all. But of course, I may have to charge you a token. I have to charge you a little token like that. Maybe like just for my time and for little knowledge I'm going to give you in my head. So maybe like let's say maybe like 2,000 naira kind of offer like that. Yeah. So it's just going to be all about, I'll send the form. So it's just going to be all about, I want to know where I fit in, and I want to know how to start. You can pick a particular skill in tech and master it within 2-3 weeks, and then you'll be out there applying for jobs. No issues, no trouble, without anything at all. It will be very, 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 very easy. So no rush. You can always learn anything, any day, anytime, any day. No rush. The YouTube is there. If a new tool should come out today, you see the tutorials for it. You see people who are already who are experts in it. So you don't need to worry about that. Someone asks a question: are those skills interwoven? Not all of them. Not all of them are buying. Not all of them actually blend together. They just serve different purposes. They serve different purposes. They are not really, really into. But you see, the thing is, when you want to work for a company, they have different tools that they work with. But when you learn different tools, and the tools I teach, like all those Jira and everything, we have Trello on ground. I didn't really go through Trello, right? Because companies who uses tools like this, progress management, progress tracking, Scrum, they would prefer to go for Atlassian than to go for Trello. So why should I teach Trello when there is already an industry approved tool? So all this tool, they are not all of them are blending together. It just depends on where you find yourself. So, but whichever tools that are used for a particular thing, it becomes very, very, very easy for you to master any new tool. Okay, is software testing part of it? Yeah, software testing has its own separate tools. And like what Ms. Adelapa said, she was mentioning that when someone asks, is Jira the only tool you use? There are different tools. For me, I also have lots and lots of tools that I use for different purposes. So it depends on where you find yourself. It depends on what you want to do with any of those tools. So all I'm just saying is don't let's get so deep into trying to learn something. Tools, all those tools, they are compulsory. Whether you are going to work as a cybersecurity expert, whether you're going to work as a product owner, whichever tech team you end up in, they use different tools to manage progress tracking. So they're like generalized tool. And sometimes you see some job description where they will tell you, you have to have a knowledge of this tool, you have to have a knowledge of this tool, different things like that. So that is the reason why there is a need to learn some of this too. Okay, when will there be a follow-up on the tasks we were assigned to on Jira platform? Yeah, that is for our project work, right? Yeah, I guess that should be for our project work. I have already started. Oh, I already started doing the follow-up on it. And then from the last class, we will talk on that one on Tuesday. Yeah, we'll talk on that one on Tuesday. But I've started doing a follow-up on it. And I believe we should have started with the BRD and the PRD. So we would talk on that on Tuesday. This class is it's the general class. Okay, so I came across a job platform and I want to introduce it to us. I didn't even know how I come about it. All I just know was they started sending me emails. They just couldn't stop sending me emails. And it's, of course, remote job. And they have great, I'll send a link to the group so you can check it out, get necessary information. So this is, you can see they have different job openings. So data, if I did when I was checking the platform and I started seeing data entry, I was like, wow, this is impressive. And this is great, So everything. So I will just drop the link. You can check it out and apply for jobs. Can always apply for jobs. And I believe for those of us that joined the portfolio class, I believe by now you should have been preparing your portfolio platform. I would love to see a link. You can always share links to your portfolio platform. I would love to see a link because when you want to apply for a job, they want to see some of those things. And it's very, 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 very important. And for those of us that joined the class that was taken yesterday by Ejital, that was the career coaching, where they were talking about LinkedIn optimization. I'm sure by now we should be planning to get our LinkedIn optimized. Okay, so at this point, I believe we are fully or to some level familiar with Jira. So the only thing that I know we still need to talk about in our next class is the Scrum. So I'm going to put us through Scrum in a very less in a very less complex, less technical way, like the way I was explaining earlier when we started the class. So I'll put us through Scrum. So like I said, it's just all about, I want to solve a problem. Now, when you're trying to solve a problem, you don't try to do everything all at once. You try to find a way to, release those solutions, solve them little by little, one after the other. So that is what initially my plan was to do, like a physical board, or I've been trying to find a perfect camera that could be able to capture my entire room and be able to do it, but I've not been able to figure that out. So I would have to look for a better way. So that was one of the reasons why I had to invite Mrs. Adetolakbo to come and show us a few things about Jira. So initially what I was going to do was, do a physical explanation on how Scrum is being executed. It's just step by step process, step by step, and that is what it's all about. So don't worry, I owe us one more class for the Jira. So I would quickly take my time to talk about Scrum, and then we can move ahead on that. So after next class, our class regarding Jira would end, and then I will introduce an advanced class for whoever is interested, because after that, we'll be moving to AI tools, and there are a lot of AI tools that we need to cover. So the only thing I will just be showing us is the AI tools for different purposes for different AI tools, and then how to use some of them. And then I'm working on a guide that has lots of information regarding all these AI tools. You know where to pick some of them, and some are free, some are paid. It depends on which one you want to use. So let's get prepared for AI tools for August, and then September is going to be spreadsheets. So the purpose of spreadsheets is for the sake of those who are interested in learning business analysis, and when you try to apply for jobs, you see requirement like you need to understand data analytics, and stuff like that. So I'll just, take my time to work on data sets on different Excel sheets. I would use the Google spreadsheet, and at the same time, I would use the Microsoft Excel. Why? Because it depends on the company where you find yourself. It's the same procedure, it's the same concept, but it's best to just get familiar with it, because the way the interface looks like, they're completely different. Okay, I am surprised my little 15-year-old son just graduated with a certificate in Python. Wow. His motivation factor was that he was stuck in developing a robot and had to research on the programming language and discover the Python stuff. Well, interesting. So I'm really challenged to answer your question, yeah, on your ideal skill set. Yeah, it's great. It's great. So like you just said, he has been interested in robots, robotism, how to build robotism, AI, machine learning, and all that. Yeah, he was able to know where to pick up from. What do I learn? Python is a great tool. So the fact that he was able to be able to identify Python, whatever he's going to be learning, he will be focusing or rather, let me say it this way, his focus will be on learning AI, learning robotism, not any other thing, at least for that point in time. And later you can then, try to enter this, enter that. But at that point in time, you are able to target just one thing, just one particular thing. My dream in tech has always been computer system engineering. I want to be able to build gadgets, any kind of gadgets, like absolutely anything. I just want to be able to there was a day. Truth is, I'm a very lazy person and I always try to find a quick way. There was a day a few weeks ago, I was like, I wanted to beans. I was craving beans. But the reason why I really eat beans or cook beans is because of, you see, that stress, that time that I would have to sit down and start picking those beans. I don't have that time. But I was craving it so bad that I really need to make this thing. Then while doing it, I had a younger brother with me. I was like, I wish I was like, okay, wait, do these white people actually pick beans? Like, don't they eat beans? How do they do it? Then the next thing I was like, I wish I could actually build a robot that could help me pick this. Then immediately I thought about it. The next thing I was like, wow, I could build it. It's possible I could build a robot that throughout its entire life is going to continue picking beans for me. That has always been my mindset. That's always been my interest. And when I wanted to start, then I just finished secondary school. I wanted to move into it, and I was looking for institutions abroad, trying to get my hands on it. But my parents said they couldn't afford, abroad thing, and I wasn't really a plus student. I never cared about academics. I'm just the logical kind. I never really care about academics as much as I'm still wanting to get my PhD. I'm currently taking MBA. In fact, imagine being a programmer and then now I'm going for MBA. I just want to I have all the knowledge everywhere. So when I realized I couldn't go for computer system engineering, I had to go online if I want to learn this skill without actually going to university to learn. Where do I need to start from? Then I realized computer science is actually a generalized course where you could actually start anywhere. Computer is like a foundation. So when you talk about robotism, you talk about AI, you talk about business analysis, every of those tools, computer science is like their foundation. So I went for it. And then I realized if I want to learn computer system engineering, I need to have knowledge in computer science, in electrical electronics, in computer engineering, and I think mechanical engineering combined. That's like 4 different courses. And when it comes to handling hardware, I am not very, very, very good with it. Like, I'm not. My hands get really sweaty when I touch anything metal. And when you talk about all those hardware gadgets, they have so many metals in it. The moment I touch it, my hands react. And when your hands is sweating, you're trying to touch things like that, oh God, electric shock. So because of that issue that I had to give up on it. Like, no. Let me just focus on software development. So if you are able to have a full target, a full focus where you're going to, it becomes very, very easy to know where to go to without getting lost. Can we get a job without certificates? Of course. Of course, you can get a job with a certificate. Spoiler alert, I don't have any certificates. You can get any job without any certificates. It doesn't matter. You see, the purpose of certification is, I recently, okay, let me put it this way. You went to a university, you graduated, either with any degree, anything at all. At least you graduated, you didn't have any experience, but something placed you in that position of getting a job. I'm talking about the real Nigeria where there's actually job, not the kind where there is no job. But normally, people would employ you when they want to offer you a job, they want to see your CV. So far, you have a certification, you have something to prove that, yeah, I went to school for 4 years to study this thing. That is basically what certification does for you. You didn't have an experience, and certification proves that you are skilled at that particular thing that they want to employ you for. So the purpose of experience is just to make sure that they don't want someone who they will still have to train. That is just what it's all about. So all these tools, learning new tools, getting certification, the work experience, they just work hand in hand. So if you don't have a certificate, then you would probably have to focus on building up your experience. So how do you now build your experience? Go for voluntary offers. Voluntary offers are like there are some kind of companies where recently now a lot of tech startup have been coming up. People come together, they try to build a product. You see those kind of people, you can always target them, join them to work with them in that particular skill where you want to join. That is how voluntary work is. So you don't really need to go online on LinkedIn and start looking for things like that. There are a lot of them, people are coming together. I recently joined about 2 different ones like that. So it's just, for the sake of that experience, just to know what it's like to work in a team, just to grow that experience in absence of a certification. And as well, you could combine the two together. If you have a certification while applying for a job, you can go for a voluntary role. And aside voluntary role, you can go for internship. And after voluntary role are always very temporary. It's just short while. After some time, once they launch, whether they launch or not, there was a company like that. It was even an internship. When I moved into UI UX, then I needed just little UI working experience just for my personal use. Then the guy was a Nigerian, but he was based in UK. He was trying to build a company. So I joined his company for like 6 months. And then even up to now, he hasn't launched the app. I don't know what's going on with him. Yeah, he's yet to launch the app, and it's more than 2 years now. And it's still, I don't know. But the goal is you already acquired that experience. So either a certification, if you don't want a certification, be ready to build up an experience. And you know how long an experience would take. So the best thing to actually do is certification is just like they put you through a course. You take course curriculum for as long as you can, and then you sit for the exam and then you get certified. That's just what the certification is all about. So it actually position you for that opportunity. So if you are certified, I don't see why a certified person should be going for a voluntary role, except if you willingly want to do it. Okay, so what time is it? What about Scrum? What's the difference between business analysis and business analytics? Okay, what about Scrum? What was I saying about Scrum then? I can't remember. I don't know if you can help me remember. Okay, what's the difference between business analysis and business analytics? Business analysis. I'm always very, very skeptical in making sure I don't speak grammar. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I can actually explain it in a non-grammatical way. Let's see. Wow. Let me look up something online. Because when we talk about the analytics is more of gathering metrics, giving reports, something of that nature. Yeah, something of that nature. So when you talk about business analysis, you'll be talking about functions, everything that is regards it. As a business analyst, you're in a company building a product, your focus is more on ensuring that the product is successful. So just like the general business analysis processes that we've been doing so far, when you are now going into business analytics, you'll be dealing with data and reporting. So that is where data analytics come in. Now, as a business analyst, if there is a problem in a company, you could actually, you are in the best position to provide the best solution to that problem.
But for someone with a business analytics, you would be dealing with the data to solve that actual problem. Like, for example, an e-commerce store that sells varieties of Jumia, let's use Jumia, for example, sell varieties of products. Then all of a sudden, they realize at the end of the year, people didn't really buy electronics, unlike before. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? As a business analyst, you could come up with several concepts, several methods at which you could, be able to identify why people are not buying electronics for a whole year on Jumia, and they were buying other things. You need to be able to find it. Now, before you can even start, you need a data report, because Jumia is an existing platform and people transact there. You need to have a full data of what is going on there. So now, if there is no data analyst, there's no data analyst in Jumia, it will be difficult for you to get those data. But of course, they would always have. Now, imagine you are a business, you are into business analytics, not even the business analyst part now, you're into business analytics. You would be able to access the data yourself. But if you don't have the skill in data reporting, data sets and anything, Excel, Power BI, and the likes, if you don't have skills there, they would need to bring you someone who would be able to provide you the right data that you need, because you need to see the existing data before you can actually provide a solution. So the analysis is more of the functions, business processes, while analytics is more of data and reporting. I think that is the reason why we usually see all these data analytics in the request. You kindly share your volunteer link? Let me see. Okay, I would look into one. I'll look into some. I'll look into some. I have a colleague like that recently just started his startup, and he's trying to, bring in people just for the sake of, voluntary sake. He's actually looking towards getting the company funded, but he just launched his platform. I'll reach out to him and let him know. And then if I would also check out some volunteer link as well, I'll let you know. Okay, are you going to take us also fully on the use of course, definitely. I will take us out to use Scrum. So I will be working on Scrum in the next class. So let's get prepared. So I'm supposed to actually teach Scrum today, but I needed to send some guide ahead. Like when I started with Jira, you saw the way I was teaching with a PowerPoint slide. I want to send a PowerPoint slide ahead so we can read it, get prepared. So by the time we come together, to save us the time to move into, things like that. I think business analysis is about process improvement, gathering requirement, taking the business from where they are, of course, where they are and where they want to be. Definitely, that is what business analysis is all about. And when you now talk about business analytics, you would now be dealing with data. You'll be dealing with data sets, and you'll be actually dealing with reporting and something of that nature. I'm sure when we talk about data sets, I'm sure we understand what it means, like charts, all those dashboard charts that looks like bar chart, pie charts, those things, something like that. So they're almost into, both are kind of interwoven. Yes, they're almost together, because it depends on the role you are taking in a company. If your company wants to bring you in as a business analyst and they realize you have that data skill, because when you say you have the business analytics abilities or the skill, you're literally saying you know how to handle your data, you understand how data works, you know how to manipulate data. Then we'll now start talking about SQL, Power BI, blah, stuff like that. But that is just a few different. So this week I'm going to send us that form to help us, identify our skill sets, to help you know. So what I'm trying to do with the form is to help you channel your own personal gifts into tech. My own personal gift is problem solving. I love to solve problems. I love to think. I love to try to find a way around a problem, try to be able to break it down into, that was actually what made me got into Scrum. To be able to put everything, everything in place. So I love it. And I love to teach. And that is why I'm here today. and I love to teach. I love to solve logical problems. I like to think, like spend the whole day doing a lot of thinking, So I want to be able to help us channel our personal skill to help identify where you are fitting. You see, when you are able to combine your own personal grit, your personal talent into into any tech skill, it becomes very easy for you to grow in it. And the goal is to get a job. Once you get a job, you can then decide, okay, I also want to learn this, I also want to learn this, I also want to learn it. Then you'll be able to grow up on it. So I'm going to create the form. Some way, somehow, I'll create the form. Then I will send a slide ahead for the Scrum class. So the Scrum class is going to be split into two. I would do a theoretical explanation of it using the PowerPoint slide. Then it will help us fully understand it. And with the way Mrs. Adedola has been able to put us through our company's board, we would also test run something. I would look for the last Jira session that we had where I invited people. So please, let's get ready. We'll try to work hand in hand on Scrum. Now, I would also, after sending the PowerPoint slide, I would also send like a short assessment. So just something related to what we've been doing so far. So you can just try out something. So it's just literally problem solving. I will send you a problem and then let's look at how you're going to solve it. So what I want to see is your approach, not even the solution. Because whatever problem anybody faces, of course, we would always have a solution to it. Of course, I'm sure that everybody would always have a solution. But your process is just like me giving you a mathematical question. Of course, even if everybody arrive at a final answer, our method at which we got there will be different. So your process towards it is what I'm trying to target. So it's going to be a very easy question, and I'm going to break it down. Okay, could you please send me other courses you do, both paid and unpaid? You can eye me on WhatsApp after the class. I think we're running up anytime soon. Eye me on WhatsApp. I would let you know about that. Okay, so I'm sure we had a great experience. I'm sure we had a great moment. So next week, let's get prepared. It's going to be Scrum all through. Then after that, I would package all our recordings from beginning to the end for those that have not been able to catch up, so we can catch up. Everything is always in a folder, so very easy to access. Okay, do we have any other question? And I'm sure we've been able to achieve a lot. Let me know. We'll be able to achieve a lot. Don't get scared. Tech is easy. It's not complex. So far, you know what you want. Don't get scared. Don't get worried whether a task is complex or not. Yeah, sorry about that. So, regardless of whichever skill you want to go into, don't get scared. You would run through it. So if you're interested in the voluntary role, I'll talk to this guy, and I'll be on the lookout for new startups that are interested in trying to be ChatGPT like makes it easier. Yeah, ChatGPT is great. ChatGPT is great. I think when we start our AI tool, I will start with ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT is great. I've been using it lately. Okay, so I'm sure we enjoyed tonight's session. Wow, this is interesting. I actually have a lot of people joined to the end. And that's impressive. That's impressive. That's impressive. Don't forget the info about, yeah, sure. I would do that. I would, as soon as the class ends now, I would reach out to her. I would try to also give me an update about that. So we would so I'm sure we are able to achieve so many things today. So the site that I just checked, that I just shared with us today, this site up to staff.com. It's a very great platform. They have great links. So let me just send that one. At this rate, in fact, maybe I'll have to build my own job portal self. Honestly. Okay, so thank you I have been very scared of tech, but whenever I remember GT, I say to myself, of course, definitely. You don't have to be scared of tech. So easy. It's easy to dive in. Once you start, you're fine. Once you start, you're fine. The rest is just story. You just start building up on it, start building up on it. And the way it is now, the best way to learn is to learn with real life experiences. If you learn with real life experiences, you would have little challenges. And then whatever problem you encounter, you're able to do it. And it would also improve in your personal life, yeah, because tech is all about making life easy, solving problems, regardless of whichever skill set you fall into. That's literally what it's all about. Okay, do we have any other thing? Thank you very much for tonight. And I'm sure we've been able to achieve so many things. So have an amazing night first. So for those that sent me a message, I would respond to our messages right now. So I will, before I deviate into something else. Okay, thank you and have an amazing night rest. As soon as, thank you so much, God bless you, man. As soon as the recording is ready, I would forward it. So let's get prepared. So next week would finalize on our Scrum, then we'll start AI tools. Okay, stop recording.